And while we are at German girls, explaining the nose ring theory. Thanks for the setup, Hans. You're going straight into it because, man, this is going to be retarded. This is going to be retarded. Really retarded. I love it.
I will explain everything I've learned about this theory, show you some examples, and then give you my 2 cents on this whole thing. So to take you on the journey that I went down to get here, I'll show you the video that I first saw that introduced me to this whole thing.
So I'm 24 years old, and I've been trying my hand at dating men, specifically, for probably about 5-6 years.
We already know, right? We already know what the problem is here, right? Everything here
Now, in a series
tells me that she's crazy. She's crazy, she's stupid. Run away. Now, as a object for your lust, she might be good. I mean, she's very obviously not fat, so she has that going for it. So you can use her, and looking at her face, that's the only thing she's good for. Why do I say it? Because all the piercings, they tell me that she's dumb and annoying. But that's the entire point of the video, so we have to simmer it down a little bit.
way. I'm single at the moment. My boyfriend and I just broke up recently, and I have probably dated about like 4 to 5 men, seriously. Keep running into the same issues every single time I date a man, and I've been trying to like really get to the root of what it is. And now I know what you're thinking. You probably have a type. I do not have a type. These men don't know each other. They're not friends. They're not from the same area.
That's not what it means to have a type, you retard. Them being friends doesn't mean, you know, men can be friends even if they aren't the same type of person, right? Is she really? Wow. I mean, I knew she was dumb, but I didn't know she was this dumb. You are not planning on having a girlfriend because it will lose you 50% of your freedom? Yeah. Most likely more. So she doesn't even understand the concept of having a type. She doesn't even understand that concept. How stupid do you have to be to not understand what having a type means? And you probably can't buy what you want. Yeah.
They don't look alike. I really do not have a type. The only thing that these men have in common is that they are men. I really have been reflecting a lot and trying to figure out what like the root of all these issues is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but I'm not the reason that any of these relationships ended. One of the main
Wait, what?
Reflecting a lot and trying to figure out what like the root of all these issues is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but I'm not the reason that any of these relationships end.
Oh, well, you are the common, what is it, denominator? You were in all these relationships and they all ended. Shouldn't that make you think? She probably has hormones imbalance. Well, basically all women in the Western world have that because they take contraceptions, which destroy the hormonal household. They drink stuff out of plastic bottles, which give off chemicals into what's in them that act like, well, estrogen in your body. And then they... Oh, what else was there? Yeah, just generally hormones and everything. And then on top of that, they have an unhealthy diet, even if they are thin. That also, you know, makes them bitchy.
One of the main issues that I've come to recognize is that I don't think men are really socialized to know what it means to truly love someone. Like love.
Oh my god, you are so dumb. No, it's because you are annoying and crazy. How do I know it? The way she looks. The way she looks.
Of their partner and care for their partner. Obviously, I'm not saying
The exact opposite is these days the case. Men are the only ones that know how to take care of anyone. Because women don't want to do that anymore. Because, ooh, it's oppression. Oh Jesus, I'm already getting angry.
this is all men, but I think it's just not normalized for them to like, I don't know, just like, I guess I don't know how to phrase it. What I'm saying, for example, is that every single one of these men individually has looked me in my eyes and told me that I am the love of their life, I'm the most important person in their life, that they would take a bullet for me, and every single one of them has treated me horribly, okay?
So you have a type. People that treat you badly. By the way, we only have her word. And what does it mean, treating her horribly? What does she mean by that? Because we can't take woman's word for anything these days. Horribly might be... They didn't want me to have sex with my dog. How dare them? You know? If you don't like men, then men won't. Yes. Yes. That's correct. And women will... Well, actually, women like men that don't like women. Women are crazy.
I don't know about you, but when I tell somebody they're the love of my life and that they're the person I care about the most, I show it. I'm treating them accordingly. Part of it that really trips me up is that they believe it. They actually believe in their heart that I'm the love of their life and I'm the person they care about the most. I started calling it out. I would be like, you do not love me and you do not care about me. Like, point blank, period. Otherwise, you wouldn't be treating me badly. And they will argue and they get genuinely, offended. They get offended. I honestly pity them because I don't think they're socialized to know what that means. And, I don't know how to get it across in a meaningful way to them. They just don't listen. And I'll be like, okay, you wouldn't have done this bad thing to me if you actually loved me in the way that you say you do. That is not what love is. That's not what love is. When you love someone, you don't do things to intentionally or even unintentionally hurt them.
She has not given one example. Not one. So we don't know what she's talking about. Isn't that something very curious?
Why is that considered love to you? I'm just I don't know where it's coming from. I honestly pity them because that has to be awful, but I can't handle it anymore, dude.
So in this video, this girl is describing her troubles with finding a good man. She insists that she doesn't have a type, that none of these men really have anything in common, but for some reason, in the end, they always end up treating her horribly. And this led many in the comments to speculate that it must be something about her that is the common denominator. And
Well, yeah. No shit. By the way, she does good content. Actually entertaining and educational. About, men and their behaviors.
Fortunately, since it's such a short TikTok video and we don't really get much insight onto greater parts of her personality, and she's not very open about what her most major flaws are to figure out why she's attracting such mean men or why her relationships are always driven to turmoil, people began...
She most likely comes from a single mother household. That's very likely. And I totally go off on what she said and how she looks. And because, I grew up in a single mother household. I was surrounded by single mothers and their children. It's not a good environment. There's all kinds of craziness that's getting bred in there.
To theorize, because it's one of the most noticeable things about her, that it could potentially have to do with the amount of piercings she has.
Yeah.
In fact, these two comments right next to each other say, the piercing theory is so true, with over 700 likes. And again, don't know, don't care, nose ring theory, with over 1,200 likes. So you might be wondering, like I did, what about having a bunch of metal in your face would cause someone to treat you poorly? I mean, sure, the style isn't everyone's type, but these men were clearly attracted enough to her to date her, so
to her face and body. And the hair. That all looks nice, but the nose rings never look nice. Never.
So then what is it that's causing the relationships to not go well? So I decided to look into what these men were referencing when they talked about the piercing theory or the nose ring theory. And this was the top video I found.
Have y'all ever heard of the septum piercing theory? If you have a septum piercing, you may not want to look it up, but I'm always the last person to hear about shit. So, this is common knowledge. It's dead ass. It's actually dead ass. Because
Is it?
it says that every person that has a septum piercing makes their trauma their entire personality.
Yeah, I can 100% see that. 100%. And sorry that I'm moving myself around on the screen all the time. I try to be at least in the way as possible.
And she agrees? It's dead ass.
And one thing, especially here in Germany, I have seen it, that at least, no, not at least, everyone with a septum piercing is lower class. It's literally a poor people thing. It's not even a poor people thing. It's stupid poor people thing. I've never seen anyone that's worth something having a nose ring. Have you? I didn't.
Like I said, dead ass.
Damn, straight from the horse's mouth. Or maybe I should say straight from the bull's mouth. You know,
Yeah.
because you get it. And
Yeah.
if even the person with
I get it. For the ones that don't get it. For the people that only grew up in cities and have no idea how anything outside of the city works. Back in the day, and even sometimes today, farm animals have nose rings. Because that's where they were being led on back in the day. That's just how it is. Well, it was.
the nose ring is saying it's true, I mean, there's gotta be something there. And this is just even more hilarious when we take that theory and then reference back to the first video where the girl was making her relationship trauma her entire personality. Okay,
Well-
that might have been a little reductive. After all, it was just one video. Surely her entire profile isn't like that.
Yo, you guys never told me how cool it is to have a dad. Like, this is a secret that's been kept from me.
So she is she just saying that she didn't have to have a dad? Because remember I said that earlier.
Okay, I grew up with 3 moms. My mommy issues.
Okay, yeah, that's the explanation. We have the explanation. No father, 3 moms. That's the result. Yeah. We don't even need to look any further. Yeah, that's it. That's everything.
Are off the charts.
Okay, sure. I mean, so maybe she doesn't have a dad and has a ton of self-proclaimed mommy issues, but that doesn't mean trauma's her entire personality.
I have psoriasis. Not like a little psoriasis, like all over my entire body. When I tell you, my whole body looks like this.
Okay, so she has a bit of medical trauma too, but I mean, there's more to her.
Nothing normal can ever happen to me. I think I attract chaos.
Okay, so attracting chaos, it might be a little red flag, but I mean, there's gotta be something normal here.
Not to be a man hater or anything.
Looking at her eye, oh, hopefully makeup. Yeah, she's absolutely crazy. She's the type of woman you see in modern in corn of today. It's in really rough stuff like being slapped around and stuff like that. Getting the real nasty stuff. The stuff the feminists say are anti-woman, but they're watching it. That's what she would be in. That's how she looks.
Actually, no, fully to be a man hater. Fully to be a man hater.
Oh, okay, I guess she also just doesn't like men. I mean, you could have brought that up.
Yeah, I could tell from the first video.
when you were theorizing on why your relationships with men might be going poorly. I'm starting to connect the dots. Now, when I
Funny is, she is
first started looking at
starting connecting the dots. I had the full picture in the first 10 seconds. Because I know. I just know. I just know. I have too much life experience with crazy people. Because I was one. So I know. I know.
into nose ring theory, I didn't think that I would take it seriously at all. I thought it would just be a good laugh. But the more I looked into it, the more I think that it might actually hold some weight, because I did find quite a number of studies that have strong correlations between individuals with a lot of piercings and tattoos and how they are perceived and who they attract. This study seems to indicate that people with piercings and tattoos scored significantly higher than those without for sensation-seeking and risk-taking behavior.
Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed? Well, with the exception of everyone that's not retarded. You suddenly build contingency plans for the future. Just don't be around those kinds of people. Then you're fine.
This other study that I found seems to indicate that people with piercings and tattoos, specifically women, scored significantly higher for extroversion and assertiveness, meaning they are more aggressive socially. This study that I found in
Yeah, I mean, look at all the demonstrations, you know, where they swing the Palestine flags and the LGBTQ stuff. All women there look like that. They're all crazy. I mean, it's not... This is not a secret. Everyone knows this. Tattoos and sexual attraction. Oh. Which tattoo should you get on your face? Oh, Matty, don't. Never. Never get a tattoo. That's bad. That's bad. And I know what I'm talking about. I have a tattoo, and I regret it. I got it in my 20s when I was really, really depressive. That was not a good time. And I even got scammed with it. You never wanted one? Yeah, good. Very good. Very, very good. I think I've never met someone with tattoos that wasn't, you know, Meshuggah.
Psychology Today examines how people with tattoos and piercings are perceived, and the most popular finding was that they are perceived to be more sexually promiscuous, and that they tend to attract people who are looking for more casual relationships than serious ones.
Because they are. It's because they are. That's why you should never date a woman that has tattoos. On top of her just being crazy. And for the ones who are attacking me for this, right? I dated women with tattoos. That's why I know it. How many possibilities is possible if I get a girlfriend? What? How possible is it that you will get a girlfriend? I don't know. Depends on how you look, how you dress, how you know, on a lot of things. How you're doing career-wise. You would rather save up for a new car? Good choice. Tattooed women wanna get with Jamal and Tyrone? Yes. Then have kids with Jamal, Tyrone and Shad. And then want Robert to raise the kids and marry her. That's the type of woman we are talking about here. And you just have to look at them. They look nasty. They look totally nasty. Yeah, I say it again. I have never met people that had a lot of tattoos and piercings that weren't mentally ill. Doesn't mean people without tattoos can't be mentally ill, but if you have a lot of tattoos and piercings, it's a clear sign of mental illness. Man, I've seen and we have been told so much stuff.
And many other studies seem to point to people with piercings and tattoos having higher correlations with impulsivity and more experience with trauma and adversity. This study from BMC Psychology seemed to find a strong correlation between body modifications and people who experienced childhood abuse and neglect. And this one,
which isn't surprising, at all. When I remember back, the last girl I tried to date, got abused by her father, when I remember correctly. She has tattoos. My first girlfriend, she told me she got raped a lot of times. She had tattoos and is, crazy, kind of. My sister's crazy. My niece got abused as a child by her mother, aka my sister. She has tattoos. I got neglected and fight with depressions. I have a tattoo. I mean, isn't this 7 people, and I just came up with that, just out of nowhere. That easy. Lee. It's bad. That tattoo you got in your 20s, which ass cheek is it on? Thankfully on none. That would have been painful. If you didn't get a girlfriend, not gonna be surprised I look at the mirror and said, yep. My sisters have tattoos and none of those are crazy bitches. As far as you know. As far as you know, Matty. That's the thing, as far as you know. You don't... I mean, I don't know your sisters, right? But you and I, we don't know what they do with their partners. In the bedroom, especially. And you especially don't wanna know. You don't know if your sisters got the gang together to bang them in a park. You don't know, and you don't wanna know. True, they couldn't be pegging their husbands daily. Oh, they are married. Okay. Good sisters. I say that until I hear otherwise.
really stood out to me. This one found a notable prevalence of individuals with a high number of body modifications and borderline personality disorder. Now,
is anybody here surprised? I am not. Not the slightest.
This is not to say that individuals with piercings and tattoos are all degenerate problem children.
Well, not all. But the number of those people is so significant that it becomes a stereotype. And whenever... Well, the thing is, the attention-seeking people of this, they go out and, seek attention. So that's what the people see. So that's how you get to the stereotype. Your sisters are most likely a minority, yeah. You wish you got a sister, Hans? Why? I can tell you, it's not that great. Well, to be fair, my sister is 13 years older than me. So we never actually lived together. But I can't remember it. We did live together for a while. I think maybe 1 year? Maybe. I actually don't know. I have zero memory of that.
Undeserving of love. I myself have a belly button piercing and an entire side piece, and I find myself to be pretty
well, a belly button piercing is
well adjusted and have had a lot of success.
A belly button piercing is very, 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 very tame. We are talking here of piercings, in the face and all the ears and stuff like that. The nipples, and the clitoris. Oh. Man, imagine having your dick pierced. Nah, if you got a sister, you gotta be dead in the first day unborn. Man. Man. Nah. Nah. Don't need that. Yeah, it's the crazy people. It's always the crazy people. That's why, you know, I literally can't watch Modern Corn because the women there are so goddamn ugly. And then I watched, you know, some retro stuff from the 90s and the early 2000s where women, basically there are no women with tattoos and piercings. And when they are piercings, they are at places where, you know, they are fun. They are not in the face. And they kind of look good and all, but they don't look dirty like all these tattooed and pierced up women. You think piercings and tattoos have something to do with cultural history too? It depends on the culture. In Germany, they don't. Like Celtic paint and decorations, Norse body paint and Germanic piercings and stuff. I don't even know about Germanic piercings. I know about paintings, body paintings, yes. You meant brother, not the other way. Okay. VHS corn, yeah. Yep. I remember when I was 16, I went into a adult store and got me a video. They thought I was older. They didn't even ask. But yeah, I looked a little older. But then again, you know, I was 16.
In my relationships. But it does beg the question, could there be any legitimacy to the nose ring theory, or is it mostly just something?
Of course there is. That's why it exists. People see something, they come up with a theory. You only talk to girls inside school? Yeah, I can see that. You miss the days of being able to buy 6 with a forged letter from my mom when you were 14, yeah. Yeah, I remember the times when the parents sent their children to the kiosk to buy beer and cigarettes, and no one was batting an eye. No one. That's just, you know, yeah, kids running errands for the children. And the thing is, the children wouldn't smoke or drink because they were 7. One of them literally saved you from being a 0 in a major activity. Oh boy. World was chill back then. Yeah, very chill. Today, the world is basically a prison in the West. Especially America. You can barely do anything in America without being bothered by people. It's horrible. You literally, after work, you close your store, you sit on a bench waiting for your drive home, and you get arrested. I say that because that happened. And for a guy that worked at a 7-Eleven, I think. That's horrible. Just sit there and wait for your drive, you get arrested.
That jerks shout at people they disagree with online when they happen to have a nose ring. My ultimate conclusion? Probably both. Obviously, even with all of these studies and research papers, you're never going to be able to make a correct, sweeping blanket generalization about every one kind of person who looks a certain way. And
you don't need to. You don't need to. Of course, not every person. Of course. No one is saying that. It's just a majority. That's why stereotypes exist. It's fundamentally the majority. Not all, but the majority.
the the case of the first video we watched, where the girl is describing her issues with relationships with men, we know that people did at least initially find her very attractive, as she even cites at the end of the video that I cut off that both men and women have described completely falling in love with her. And when I first listened...
Oh, sure, she's bisexual too, yeah. Should have expected that. Of course she's... Yeah. She's probably also the one that getting abused in the relationships with woman. I can see that, yeah.
her story, I wasn't even making any judgments about her physical appearance. I was truly waiting for the other shoe to drop of when she was going to describe some consistent patterns of behavior that might lead to all of this correlation. In her case, I definitely think that being a vocal man-hater was probably the linchpin in the disruption in her relationships with men, but certainly not all women with piercings and tattoos feel that way. In fact, here are some examples of super pierced and tattooed girls in very happy relationships with men.
Jesus. Oh, you know, the coochie is crazy. He probably stuffs all the holes. You know that just by looking at her. Dude, he just looks like a normal dude and she's just like, you know, completely a freak.
What is this? What is this, please?
Also, it's so funny how they always go for the nerdy gamer guys. But this is what makes the nose ring theory so complex, because if the first video were to be enough to prove that it's accurate, then all of these other videos should be enough to disprove it.
The thing is, they don't disprove it, they are just some women that aren't totally crazy. As far as we know. These are just some things that we see. It's not that we see, you know, how they behave behind closed doors, because that's, we have seen behavior they show in the public, and in the public, I mean on the internet, to get some attention. So yeah, no, the nose ring theory is true because there are so many crazy people that have nose rings. It's not because the nose ring make them the people crazy. It's crazy people have nose rings. If they wouldn't have, there wouldn't be crazy people having nose rings, then this video wouldn't exist. It's very, very simple.
Right? At the end of the day, the nose ring theory is just that. A theory, an idea worth discussing. Is it true that people with a lot of tattoos and piercings tend to be a bit more rebellious, chaotic, and traumatized? Yeah, probably, but does it make them inherently undateable?
No one says that. No one says that. But it's most likely that they are undateable. For example, I would say I was undateable. Completely. Because I was fucked in the head. Thankfully, that's mostly over. Mostly.
No. Some of them are. Some of them are absolutely undateable, but not all of them. As with most things, it's a case-by-case scenario, and it's always more important to pay attention to how a person behaves or what they believe in than it is.
Someone in chat said, I went out with a German girl. She had a nose ring and leg tattoos. Bitch was crazy, but fucking fire in bed. Yes, of course she was, because she is crazy. Crazy women are great in the bed sheets. They are awesome for that. But a lot of people know that, so they are being used for that. So they have a lot of dicks. So you have to be You never not use a condom. You only not use a condom if you're married. That was the one rule that I always had. Already when I was 12 years old, yeah, no sex without a condom until I'm married. And I stuck with that. Thank God.
Is to try and find secret clues in how they look or dress. Anyway, that has been my analysis on nose ring theory. If you liked my coverage, please drop a like on the video. Consider subscribing. We are so close to the big 500,000, the big 500,000 subscribers. And drop any comments that you have on the subject down below, because that also helps boost me in the algorithm and grow my channel. And if you want even more from me than you can find here,
same for me, but my big 500 is literally 500. So subscribe and like, so I get to 500 subscribers.
Consider joining my Patreon at patreon.com/thedadvocate for early access to my videos, exclusive content, and exclusive merch that you can't get anywhere else. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the very end. I will catch you in the next one. Until soon.